In this session, let us understand web pages, URLs, and web hosting. Let us start with web pages. A web page is a document that is written in HTML and which can be viewed on any web browser. The web pages are actually stored on web servers which can be accessed with the help of the URL associated with that web page. URL stands for Uniform Resource Locator and it is analogous to address of a person. These URLs can be discussed towards the end of this session. Every web page will be associated with a unique URL. A web page may contain text, links for other pages known as hyperlinks, graphics, videos, etc. These provide information to the user in the form of text, images, etc. A collection of related web pages is called a website. Every pages in a website will be linked together with the help of hyperlinks. And a website can be accessed with the help of its domain names. A special type of web page is known as home page. It is the starting page of the website. The initial page from where the users can go from one page to another on a website is known as home page. This contains usually the links to the important parts of a website. And this home page can also be known as index page. Now let us see how a web page is accessed. A web page can be created with the help of HTML, which is a markup language. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. A simple web page can be created with the help of HTML only. But if you need your web page to be more attractive and if you want to add more functionalities to the web page, then you can use CSS and JavaScript along with HTML. Actually, the web page will be stored on some web servers. So if you want to access a web page from the web server, the client needs to make a request. Usually, the browser serves as the client in this scenario. So, a browser sends the request to the server across the internet and the server finds the page requested by the browser and it responds back to the browser with the help of a HTTP response. And the browser interprets these web pages which contains markup tags and displays on the user screen in an appropriate format. So let us see how this works. So here you can see a web server and a web browser. Here web browser accesses the client and the client sends a request to the server with the help of an HTTP request. HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol, which is a protocol associated with the application layer which allows the transfer of documents over the internet between a browser and server. And once the request reaches the server checks for the file in the web server, and if it finds the file associated with the request, then it responds back with the web page through an HTTP response. And the web browser interprets this HTML file and it displays it on the user's screen. If a server cannot find the page requested by the client, then it will send an HTTP response as an error message. Error message will be 404 response. That is, it sends a response back to the browser indicating that the web page is not found. So this is actually happening on accessing a web page. There are different types of web pages, and mainly you can classify web pages into two based on their functionality. They are static web pages and dynamic web pages. Static web pages are those web pages where the contents of the web pages cannot be modified or altered by the client. They are known as stationary or flat web pages. So if a static web page is requested by the client, then it will be fetched from the server and displayed on the user screen as it is. Whenever a request is made, it appears the same every time. Users can only load the page and read the information, but they cannot modify the page. A static web page can be created by using HTML and CSS only. So the working of a static web page is shown in this figure. Here you have a web browser which accesses the client and web server where the web pages will be stored. And a request for web page is made by the client over the internet and it reaches the web server. The web server finds the web page on this particular computer and it returns the web page requested as an HTML file back to the web browser. And this will be displayed on the user's screen as it is. User can view the web page, but he cannot modify it. Now coming to dynamic web pages. Dynamic web pages are dynamic in nature, which means it shows different information at different point of time. So the contents of the web pages will be changing frequently. The dynamic web page shows different contents every time it is visited. Here, the dynamic web pages will be requested by the web browser over the internet to the web server, and web server processes the request and it may be residing on the same machine or it may be somewhere else in the database, and it should be fetched from the database and interpreted by the PHP interpreter or some other interpreters, and this dynamic web page will be sent across the internet towards the web browser and the web browser displays it. And sometimes if the same web page is requested again, then it may appear different. So this is what is known as dynamic web page if the contents are changing frequently. Now there are two different types of dynamic web pages, that is server-side dynamic web pages and client-side dynamic web pages. Server-side dynamic web pages are created using server-side scripting. So there are some scripting languages available. Scripting is similar to computer language which appears as scripts. These pages are changed when they are visited or viewed. So some examples of server-side pages are login pages, submission forms, shopping carts, etc. So each time these pages are visited, its contents may change. That is called server-side dynamic pages. And the scripting languages used for server-side dynamic web pages can be PHP, ASP.NET, JSP, etc. Now the second type of dynamic web pages are client-side dynamic web pages. These web pages are created using client-side scripting. These pages get changed in response to actions that occur within that page, such as a mouse click or a keyboard action. Some examples for client-side scripting languages are JavaScript, Dart, etc. Now comes Uniform Resource Locator or URL. URL can be considered as a web address which uniquely identifies a document over the internet. So every web page will be associated with a unique URL in order to identify and access them. It specifies the location on a computer network and a mechanism for retrieving it. Most of the web browsers display the URL of a web page. Above the page in an address bar, you can find a URL in the address bar of that web page. And the URL can have the following form as shown here: http://www.example.com/index.html. So it contains three different parts here. The first part is for protocol. Second part represents the domain name or host name, that is www.example.com, and the last part is the actual file name. Index.html is the requested file, and this will be represented in this format, which contains three different parts. First part is the protocol part. Here HTTP is used as the protocol, and then comes the host name, and the third part is the file name. There are two different forms of URLs. One is absolute URL and another one is relative URL. Absolute URL is a complete address of a resource on the web, and the complete address comprises of protocol, server name, path name, and file name. As shown in the previous example, the same example is here given: HTTP. So this is a complete address and it is known as absolute URL. The protocol part tells the web browser how to handle the file. So here the protocol part is HTTP, and it indicates that the web pages are transferred over the internet. So some other protocols can also be used to create the URLs like FTP, HTTPS, Gopher, Mail2, News, etc. Next type of URL is relative URL. Relative URL is a partial address of a web page. The protocol and server part are not available in relative URLs. Relative URLs are used for internal links, that is, to create links of files that are part of the same website as the web pages on which you are placing the link. So relative URLs are for creating internal links. Internal links means the links associated with a single website. You will have different web pages on a single website, and in order to access these different pages on a single website, you can use relative URL. Next is web hosting. Web hosting is an online service which allows you to publish your website onto the internet. So the companies that provide web hosting services are known as web host. Web host can be considered as an organization that sells or leases memory space on its servers. So these memory spaces can be used by different people in order to host their websites. A web host may be either an internet service provider or companies that specifically provide a web hosting service, such as GoDaddy, Bluehost, FatCow, etc. So these are examples for web hosting organizations. So in this session, we have seen what are web pages, what is URL, and what is web hosting. Thank you.